For 1,000 yuan, you can buy one that is made in Germany. Flander is made in West Germany. Isn't it delicious? First of all, I wish you a happy new year and good luck the year of the loon. As for Nikon ZF, I have been using it for several months. In the previous programs, I talked about some of my lens collocation. There are also some shooting plans for my video and a variety of choices. However, these lenses from the original factory are actually not very compatible with the temperament of the Nikon ZF. Therefore, transferring the old lens is not only more beautiful, but also a cost-effective choice. The premise is that you have to use more manual focusing skills. What about this program? I will share with you some of my old lenses and some of the transfer schemes of such a manual focusing lens. I hope to give you some inspiration. Let's get right to it. The first thing I thought of when I transferred the lens to the ZF was to match the Leica Perixel lens. One of the characteristics of this lens is that it is small in size, short in flange distance, Leica in weight. After so many years of development, in fact, many manufacturers have also made lenses for him. But I want to say that anything that goes with Leica is really expensive, to be honest. Moreover, the pit is also very big. Because the lens without triangle mount is too old, it is very difficult for you to find one that does not demur, does not degum, and does not fog. So good, the price of this lens is generally more expensive, and some of them are outrageous. And there is, yeah, it looks good. But who knows what about the lens of the import? In fact, it is the same reason. That is, there is no and it is very so for this program, it is to show everyone this turning point. I went to make such a lens of a new brand made in China. Let's not talk about the effect of the do you think it looks good? If you think it look, you can brush one. If it doesn't look good, you can brush three. In my opinion, the Z bayonet so the M bayonet is relatively and the lens itself is not big. When it is installed, there will be a drop, and there will be an adapter ring. Personally, I don't think it's as big I imagine. At this point, let's talk about the adapter ring. The macro adapter of Linus import to Z port. So why is it called a macro ring? It is the focus point of the one. It reaches the nearest point. I can also turn here and continue to extend its focus. So this way is similar to the previous leather cavity, which allows you to have a close-up function for you. So my focus ring, don't look at it. It's very simple. It's a ring, right? I just feel that there no technical content. In fact, there are a lot. So my suggestion to buy that is to choose the big brand or the brand and don't buy the one without the brand. Why didn't I choose the autofocus ring? My personal state is to use the autofocus ring when don't think it's stint. Why don't I buy an automatic lens? Auto and quite expensive can be said to be to buy an autofocus lens. And playing with a manual light. What about the autofocus ring? It's right here. It's the kind of thing that's not. And if you play with this kind of manual ring, then this kind of macro ring can also get more function. So this is an automatic ring. As for the domestic 35mm lens, I will do a separate issue. Well, do you recommend? In fact, what I mean is that the lens itself is okay, but the price is low, so you can wait. At some of the pictures I took with this free. So after reading it, let's go to the next page. The next step is the old SLR lens. So there are too many scenes cut at this stage. And there are many. As for the price, some are expensive, but it is the price of, well, like my Nikon 55mm f3.5. This is a macro which can be said to be the one I have kept for the long. That is, when I was still using, I had to transfer it and shoot a lot well. Some of the macro shots were taken with it. This time, He went back to his hometown and plugged the next two lenses. I think are the most cost-effective lenses, whether it is in terms of imaging or price. It is in a relatively balanced state. Then it is the lens of the DK. What about the lens of the space? In fact, there are not many people who, so the price is not much too spectacular. The lens of this DKL can be bought for hundreds of, but what you bought is a lens of pure German origin. What about the DKL bayonet lens? It was originally designed for the Latina free. At that time, there was this Schneider who made the lens for Runda and Rodin side, and so on. The two lenses in my hands are Schneider's 28mm f4. What about the head at 5.0? There is also a nickname called, and another one is called. Let's take a look at some of the photos I took with these two lenses. In fact, I quite like these two lenses. The color of the lens, there is a little bit of the so-called metaphysical feeling. So now if you buy this brand new Fulanda, basically, they were all made in Japan. What the mountain can do is that the original Fulanda. In fact, no longer. Moreover, the price is actually not cheap. So 1,000 yuan. To buy a pure German. This Fulanda is made in West Germany. Isn't it good? What about the focus? So the closest focus is basically to put the lens on the subject to be tapped. In fact, the body of the lens is it uses a brass lens body, which is very okay. This is the end of this probe, so you are welcome to communicate with me in the comment. Is there anything I haven't thought of? In the next issue, I have used Nikon Z in the past few months. Well, how do I feel? So is it worth buying? Okay, we'll see you next time.